This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2017 Mitsubishi Outlander. Up front is a 2.4 liter inline 4, and down below is a CVT. Now I'm super excited to be driving this here Outlander for a couple of reasons. First of all, I drove a Mitsubishi Outlander Sport last year, as well as I recently drove a Mirage, and I don't really film too many Mitsubishis here on the channel, so I'm always excited to bring you guys more. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can find stickers like this retro sticker pack I have available. You can also submit your vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you can read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 2.4 liter inline 4 under the hood, making 166 horsepower. Nothing too crazy. It's the same engine that was found in the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, which the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is a completely different size. It actually technically rides on the same chassis, but it's actually a fully different size. It's smaller, more compact. I would say comparable to like a CRV or RAV4, where this is a lot longer. But this engine gets 25 miles to the gallon in the city and 30 miles to the gallon on the highway, which isn't too bad, especially for a larger vehicle like this. Like I said, paired to it is a CVT, and I'm not a big fan of CVTs. However, driving it around here on the test track, I'm not really noticing it. It is warmed up here, so let's see if it does that CVT sort of thing. I don't think I have a sport mode. I'm gonna move this so it doesn't fly. Yeah, see, it fake shifts. If you heard it at the end there, it actually kind of fake shifts. It doesn't feel like a CVT, and that's what I really like. I don't mind CVTs mechanically. I think they're actually a huge feat in engineering. But driving like Honda CVTs, you get this sort of rev hang that's atrocious, but you don't get that here in the Mitsubishi. I actually like that. Last but not least, the Outlander is front wheel drive. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two physical gauges. On the left is my tachometer, on the right is my speedometer, and in the center, I get a nice little display screen. I actually really like it. It has nice clear colors. I know exactly what I'm looking at, and that's all I need to know. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my volume, skip track, and mode, as well as my phone options. And on the right, I just have my cruise control. I do get the chrome-looking 3 diamonds for the Mitsubishi logo in the center. I quite like that. Overall, the steering wheel, though, feels pretty basic. This is an SE model, which is not the top trim, so you're going to find some basic things in here. For instance, off to the left, I have my traction control and pages button, but I do have a dead switch, and down below that are a ton of dead switches. This car might be the king of dead switches, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Moving on to the door, I have my power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. And moving into the center, I do have a touchscreen infotainment system. This is a little bit dated, of course. However, this is a 2017, so I can't say I'm super surprised. It does have the interface of something you would buy at like Best Buy. I almost said Blockbuster, but Best Buy. It sort of has that aftermarket look to it. Not a super big fan, but at least we have it. And I do have a backup camera. Now, the lines do not adjust when I turn the steering wheel, but I do have some spacing lines to kind of figure out how far things are, and of course a red line to tell me when I'm getting too close to something. Down below the infotainment screen, we do have the hazard switch and the eco mode. This is one of the biggest eco mode buttons I've seen, which will put the car, of course, into eco mode. Then I do have the climate controls, nothing too crazy here. However, I do have dual zone, which is very nice, and then of course defrosters, where to send it, and other things like that. Then moving further down, I do have a 12-volt outlet and a little space to put my key, but then I have all of these blank switches. I don't know if I've ever seen so many blank switches in a single car. 5 to the left and 5 in the center. That's 10 completely blank switches. Unbelievable. But then moving on to the center console, I do have openable cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Mitsubishi Outlander. And unfortunately it fails. it wants to go into the actual cup holder, but the climate controls stick out far enough where it actually knocks the top of the bottle. So unfortunately, it just doesn't fit. Moving on to the center console, we have the shifter. It's a jigsaw style shifter. You have to move it around. There's no button to get it in and out of gear. It's fine. It's cheap, but it works. Off to the right, I have my handbrake, and then I have a plug. If anyone knows what would go here, please let me know. But obviously, I don't get that option, whatever it might have been. But what I do get, interestingly enough, with all of this base model stuff, I get heated seats. Kind of an interesting spec there, but I'm definitely not complaining given the fact that it's 37 degrees today. I do get a little center console with a 12-volt outlet that hooks up to the battery, so that will always stay on, as well as a USB. And then we gotta talk about the seats. The seats are cloth, they are not leather, but they are heated, which is nice. However, they are manual. They are not power seat. Kind of an interesting spec. You don't often see cloth heated manual. Kind of a weird combination. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2017 Mitsubishi Outlander SE. A couple of things to note back here. First of all, I fit fine. That's not really an issue. Head space good, knee space good. I'm 5'11". The seats themselves are pretty hard. I mean, like, just physically hard. They're not very comfortable. I do get a center console, it seems, which is nice, but other than that, it's not great. Let's go take a quick look at the cargo space. And we do have a third row, so I'll show you how to pop that up, but let's hop around back. All right, so we're on the back of the Mitsubishi Outlander SE. And back here, we will find a 12-volt power outlet, which is fantastic. Some cubbies over here. And then, I do have floor mats kind of in the way, but we can pull up these third row seats, and so the Outlander does offer 2 3-row seats. Not a lot of leg room, and the GoPro makes it look even more than it actually is because of the fisheye lens. And once you do pop them up, you don't really get much cargo space. However, if you absolutely need a third row of seats, you can absolutely have them, which is a nice feature, especially for the Outlander. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I actually really like the look of the Outlander. Okay, I wouldn't say really like, but I think it's interesting. I like this red color. You don't really see cars that pop in this sort of red all too much. And I think it's angular, it's different, but it's definitely not anything to write home about. This also shares a chassis with a lot of other products. Now, I haven't filmed a lot of these products, so I don't have video, but it does share a platform with the Outlander Sport, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, and just the regular Lancer. But it also shares this platform with a bunch of Chryslers, like the Dodge Caliber, Jeep Compass, Jeep Patriot, Chrysler Sebring, Dodge Avenger, Chrysler 200. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I always assumed that Chrysler and Mitsubishi had cut ties a long time ago, and they really did, but Mitsubishi continued to use this platform well after they cut ties. So, given the fact that this rides on the same platform as some Chryslers, does this count as a DSM? Is this a Diamond Star Motor collaboration? I'll let you decide. But now let's get to my final thoughts here on the Mitsubishi Outlander. And first of all, I want to start off by saying I don't dislike this car. I really don't. I think it does everything pretty adequately. It's not blowing me away in any category. It's not super fast, it's not super comfortable, it doesn't have crazy tech, but if you need a car and you can get one of these for lower mileage and a low price, why not? There's nothing inherently wrong with this car. When people ask me about this car, I'm not going to say it's a bad car. It's not a fantastic, great car, doesn't make me want to do backflips, but it's a good car. It's a good car. It does everything pretty adequate. I just have one question. Who is buying new Mitsubishis? I mean, this is the Long John Silvers of cars. I honestly don't know who is buying these. Do you know anyone that has purchased a brand new 0 mileage Mitsubishi in the last 2 years? I don't know how they're keeping the lights on. Like I said, I like this car. It's not bad. But when was the last time you ever heard someone say, oh no, not Mazda, don't want a Honda, not a Toyota, I'm gonna get a Mitsubishi? It doesn't really happen here in 2022. And so if you know anyone that's bought one of these brand new, leave a comment, because I certainly don't. That's it. that's the video. If you want to buy this, you can go to Toyota Naperville. Their information is down in the description. But that's it. That's all I have to say about this thing. You can do like the end credit thing for YouTube. Not over my face. Jeez. Put it over the car. But yeah, I'll play a little bit of that music I paid a guy $60 to make for the end of my videos. But here it is. You can click one of these other videos I'd highly recommend.